All right, folks, we're going to get live in about less than 2 minutes. Definitely less than 2 minutes. But I want to try to get my intro. You know, I'm always trying shit. You know how I roll. So we're going to try some stuff, things, and see how it goes once my Instagram fires up. There she is. All right, we're live. And I'm going to try something different. So we'll see if it works.
You're listening to Smashing the Party. This is your host, Nate Baumberger.
Hey. Oh no, the wrong screen showed up. Oh, that would almost been perfect. Welcome to Smashing the Party. You know I did my intro. You know I'm always trying shit. I got a little intro I fired up just to show you that I got stuff coming down the pipe. But tonight we're going to talk about comedy, killing comedy. Not going to be funny when I'm talking about it because I got some personal anecdotes to go along with it, but that's a big deal. And it came up in one of my feeds. People were talking about it. I've always had an opinion about it. And I'm going to break it down for you today. And we're going to get down to the bottom of whether the left is truly killing comedy. Now, you know, if you watch this show, I happen to be a member, card-carrying member of the left. Not really. I joke. I hate, loathe the whole left-right spectrum bullshit because depending on what country you're in, could depend on how far left you are, how far right you are. So when we come up with this argument, the left is killing comedy, we have to take every fucking word and break it down and see what's what. What is killing? What is comedy, right? What is, as Bill Clinton might say. It depends on what the definition of is. Google it. It's fucking hilarious. All right. I'm not trying to be funny or clever. I'm serious about this. I have a very, very strong opinion about whether or not the left is killing comedy. But you have to go back a little further, provide a little context to talk about these words that are now in the lexicon. Cancel culture, wokeness. Both words I fucking hate. But let's start out with cancel culture because in my moniker, as I call it, in my moniker that I put up, my placard, I said comedy, and in my description, I talked about the left killing it. Stephen Merchant, who is a god in the comedy world, one of the writers of Office, Ricky Gervais' friend and confidant. Jerry Seinfeld, also out there talking about the left ruining comedy. Ricky Gervais, who again is a comedy god, comedic god. I hold him in high esteem. I fell asleep every night for years to The Office. Like the only show that would put me to sleep. And not because it was boring, because it was hilarious. So, I mean, Ricky Gervais going out and saying, you know, we watched his special Armageddon. He comes out and talks about it. One of the things that bothers me, just getting this out the gate, every single person I just mentioned is fucking loaded. I'm going to get to the bottom of what cancel culture is, according to Nate Baumberger, according to Smashing the Party's host. I don't believe in it. I think it's a fucking marketing term. We'll get into the word wokeness, but cancel culture is bullshit. What it comes from, let's talk about what cancel culture is. It stemmed from, this word came from this concept that Hollywood folks have when they weren't getting calls to be on shows or get jobs. So in their mind, they're canceled. And oftentimes, you know, depending on whether or not you abided by the Hollywood rules, which according to Harvey Weinstein, you know, it required blowjobs and shit to get jobs. So if you didn't comply with that, you were canceled, according to Harvey Weinstein, which is now facing trials and tribulations for those sins against humanity. But he canceled a lot of people. He said, you know what? No blowjob, you don't get the job. I'm sorry. It's late. Your kids are in bed. Deal with it. You know what a blowjob is. Calm the fuck down. I'm talking about cancel culture. Don't fucking get canceled on the fucking cancel culture special. Break yourself. Check yourself. But actually, that last statement leans into what my real problem with cancel culture is it's fucking marketing term. Every single person I just mentioned is loaded. They're bitching, complaining because people have to defend their comedy. And I don't understand. I can imagine you say something, you have millions of followers. Oh, hala. You have millions of followers, and next thing you say something, you've got to clean up. You got people pissed. Maybe your follower list goes down. I don't know what happens, but I don't know of any of them that got canceled that lost money. Now, we're strictly talking about comedy here. I know, and I did throw in some acting problems with the Me Too. Didn't come out of the comedy. It came from the Hollywood, but we're lumping them all together for the sake of entertainment, for argument's sake. But back to my core point, I don't even agree with cancel culture. I don't think it is a thing. I think people say things and they maybe didn't mean it, or they meant it and it was really ignorant and they get hammered for it. But who cares? The truth is, I'm learning more about what cancel culture is and what wokeness is when you put words into the ether. I'm learning that certain things I can't say. If you watch the show, I fucking love the word retard. Every time I say it, I get messages. I'm going to get messages. Retard. I'm going to get messages. I get it. The word is not cool. It's a funny word to me. And I, would love to get canceled. And the reason I say that is because canceled, anytime you get canceled, it's like, I actually thought about this. What could I do possibly to elevate myself again? This is just crazy talk. Elevate myself into the ether and break through, pierce through this fucking social media glass ceiling that's hard to get through without paying a lot of money or doing something stupid or famous or whatever. Well, one ticket to the fucking cancel culture train is just saying words that people don't accept. But again, if I get canceled, what does that mean for me to get canceled? Again, canceled has to do with, it's a status thing. I can't get canceled. I'd love to say I get canceled. So cancel culture is about Hollywood. It's about folks that have a lot of money complaining when they say something stupid or something that they can't back up, or perhaps it was said in their art form. Note I said art form, which may be comedy, and folks came that didn't appreciate it. So we'll get to that point. But let's break it down. The left is killing comedy. That presupposes that there's an existence of a cancel culture that cancels things. And I'm arguing right off the gate that cancel culture is bullshit. No one gets canceled that doesn't have money. Ellen didn't get canceled. She got canceled because her show got lost ratings, but I'm going to go back to work for you don't need to fucking work. No one, that's not a bad situation. When these folks complain about getting canceled in their mansion, no fucking complaint, nothing. I'm sorry, you're fine. You're fine. Stop it. You lost the attention. What do you get the attention? 15 minutes? Celebrate the 15. It's over. Go on. But none of you, no one most likely you're not a celebrity watching this. Although if you are, please inbox me. I'd love to interview you for some fucking reason. You're not going to get canceled. You don't have to worry about getting canceled. None of us, me, you, and you, none of us have to worry about getting canceled. It's bullshit. But then we can worry about wokeness. We can worry about what the fuck is wokeness? When you do look up the definition, both cancel culture and wokeness come from this idea where people are sensitive to social and demographic identity issues or whatever it is. People are sensitive to things that make fun of themselves or their siblings. That's fair. But if you come to my show and I make jokes about retards and you have several brothers and a mother that's retarded, and you come to my show and you bitch and complain, fuck off. Why did you fucking come? I love the word retard. So the other point I'm going to make is that if I'm going to go out there and make jokes about retard, I'm not going to give a fuck. I'm going to make personal apologies to those that are offended if they're close to me. But for the most part, sure, I have retarded brothers and sisters. I'd argue all of them are retarded. They wouldn't. But I'd argue they're all fucking retarded in some way. Aren't we all a little retarded in some way? I said it 25 times. My inbox is probably just boop, boop, boop. But I'm not going to get canceled. It's offensive. It's inconsiderate. I may not get hits for it. I may get people just put me in a box. That's fine. Those aren't my people. The people that put me in a box when they hear the word retard aren't my people. So this, going back to my original concept, maybe your comedy isn't funny anymore, which in the article that I posted today, we talk about contextual comedy and temporal comedy. You know what I mean? It has an existence in time. It exists in this state of time, and that's it. Eddie Murphy, you'd think it was timeless. No, hell no. Raw is not timeless. It's awful if you're coming in thinking, wow, this better be clean. It better be past my muster of words that are offensive. But it doesn't. He throws the word faggy around, makes fun of homosexuals, and he walks around, makes fun of how they walk and everything. It's awful. I found it hilarious at the time. Do I feel bad and shame? No. Fuck no. I still find it hilarious. Go fuck yourself. There you go. Cancel me. I find Eddie Murphy hilarious. I'm going to go further and say I find Bill Cosby hilarious. Ooh, you're so racy. You should have canceled him because of all the... I understand. That's a whole nother conversation about separating the art from the artist, which my hat tip to you, Jason. I know we did talk about that briefly. It's a great topic, and it leans into this topic I'm talking about. By the way, if you want to know what that topic is, separating the artist from the art. Can you separate your artist who you hold in high esteem, who is also behind the scenes beating up women? This was a real question. Great conversation piece. Great conversation starter. We'll have to kick that one down the road. Let's get back to comedy and wokeness and bullshit. It's all linked, though. You kind of probably are maybe feeling where I'm going with my position on this. I don't believe in cancel culture. It's a fucking marketing term. None of my friends got canceled. I mean, they cancel me every now and then because I'm a fuck. I'm an asshole. Not a very, I'm picky. I'm jerkish. Maybe I don't know. I don't know why I don't have a lot of friends, but it's fucking fine. I'm okay with it. But I don't feel like I get canceled. I do want to get invited, though. I won't come. I promise. Just invite me. I fucking won't come. Just fucking throw me the fucking invite. I'm not going to try to take over your party. I'm not going to come. But I don't get invited to a lot of things. I think it's because I'm fucking kind of an asshole. Maybe I don't come enough. I don't know. That was a double entendre for you folks that were listening. Anyway, enough about my insecurities in my friend circles, which is nice and small. Maybe a circle of 1, 2, 3. If you're out there thinking you're my friend, you are. I just don't know when we hang out or when we do stuff. So I promise this is a whole nother fucking rant. All right, back to the topic. You do listen for my rants. I got messages from people saying, don't stop your digressions, okay? So fuck off if you hate them. But comedy's dead, according to Stephen Merchant, Ricky Gervais. Jerry Seinfeld made the claim that you can't even make sitcoms anymore. The left ruined it. All this coming from the context that there exists some cancel army that can decide what's funny and not. And I'm saying it doesn't exist. I'm actually saying it doesn't exist. What does exist are people who work in the industry who were very, very sensitive and realized, holy shit, I worked in this industry and I didn't realize these 15 actresses I worked with all gave blowjobs to Harvey Weinstein. Holy shit, that's fucking crazy. Wow, I worked here. Now I'm an executive. Oh my God, that looks like fucking somebody's doing some weird shit in that film. Can't have that. So you have people that are overly sensitive, that that are worried about their jobs, worried about their careers, who won't give these shows a nod because of the culture that was created. So it's not the left that killed. And I don't want to make I don't want to come at my main argument yet, but boy, I'm using a lot of double entendres. What's the fuck is up with that? If you don't know what a double entendre is, Google it. But you have, let me just stop. Let me pause. Let me pick myself up. I was getting excited with that little double entendre. And I lost my point about how cancel culture doesn't exist. It's important to understand when we talk about who's killing comedy. We'll break down left and right, but we got to understand what the context is. The context is that there's this cancel army. And I don't believe in it. I don't believe it. I believe there are executives, there are people that work in the business that realize they had to change their ways. And now you have a second look at other things. Now, I do agree that individuals are canceling people and saying no to certain things. So in that regard, you could have a bunch of, I could imagine the culture in Hollywood and how you would call it cancel culture is because you have these executives which their buttholes have tightened up so tight that they won't give a nod to certain things because they're raised. Blazing Saddles would have never made it through. On that note, I want to take a digression to give you a personal anecdote about why I feel strongly about this. And I was, for lack of a better term, self-canceled. I'm going to tell you a story time. All right. This is a couple weeks ago. I might have told you some of it. I've been riffing on the comedic scene a little tiny bit, just dabbling, trying to get up there. I think I'm fucking funny in person, so why not? I can make a fucking crowd laugh. I did it 4 times, did pretty well. What the fuck? I'll do it for a 5th time. Go to open mic, POV comedy. I'm up there. This night, I'm feeling it's like packed. We got all the local comedians that I come and see, and they're all there. I'm like, this is the practice forum. And so I get on, and before I get on, one of the comedians gets up, and I actually had seen her a couple weeks before, paid to see her. She gets up and gives this speech. She says, you're going to hear a lot of things up here tonight. People are trying to practice their craft, and it's important that, you take it with a grain of salt and that you realize that people are just trying things up here. So let's have a good night, and let's get to it. Let's make some laughs or some bullshit anecdote, and then she closed. And I'm like, but what it hit me was like, oh, wow, okay, fuck. All right, this is the gym. I'm gonna practice some of my jokes, and I got some fucking jokes, yo. I got some jokes. Okay, I love word games. Of course, I'm gonna fucking play with words. And so I'm doing my bit. It's not that funny because I'm not that funny in 5 minutes. You gotta fucking give me an hour. You gotta get to know me. So 5 minutes, I'm doing some stuff, and then they flash the little light. I'm thinking, all right, perfect time to try capital T, the capital J, joke, the joke. And I say the joke because I'm never going to tell the joke again until there is proper compensation. But the joke's beautiful. It plays on words. It uses all the words. It uses the best words. But the words that I say, if I were to say it on this podcast, it would be canceled. I use those words. What great comedian had a famous riff about the 7 naughty words you're not allowed to say and then proceeded to say them all? Come on, folks. George Carlin did that. That was breakthrough comedy. No one wanted to say it. He was like, fuck, shit, goddamn pussy, whatever the fuck the 7 words were. He does a whole thing about it. And it was mind-bending. It broke the mold. People were like, holy shit. And to me, it wasn't a holy shit moment. I'm not just trying to be all fucking cool because George Carlin's the greatest. He's one of the GOATs. No fucking hands down. I'm just saying that comedy has breakthroughs like that all the time. It's always going to do that. It's always supposed to do that. It's always supposed to push on the level. And even when you watch Eddie Murphy, he was making fun. It did not feel derogatory. He wasn't saying that these people are less than him. He was using the words of the time, and he was describing you could argue he was some punching down, but I didn't see it that much as punching down. And I'm not gay, so perhaps I didn't hear those whistles, right? But I'm up here, going back to my story, I'm up there thinking this was an opportunity for me to try. And so I do try, and I start. And the words that I start with, depending on who the crowd is, I might start a different way. Let's just say that. And I start with the words, and the words are fucking they rip your ears out, and they're meant to. The joke, to give you a hint, is about the sounds of words. And so I get up there and I start my joke, and I'm thinking this is going to fucking slay. And right when I get to my first word of the joke and I pick the wrong beginning, this motherfucker flashes his light. I'm like, I'm nervous already. Okay. Even though I might look cool, calm behind here, getting on stage, just like everyone else, I get nervous. So I'm like, what the fuck's happening? I mean, I can't see him. He's flashes. I'm like, I thought I had a minute. Did a minute go by that fast? I just said, start at the beginning. He's like, no. And he walks up, and then I'm like, oh, fuck. Weirdest, awkwardest moment. I walk off the stage. I'm like, what's up? He's like, you can't say that in front of everybody. All these comedians. I'm like, and then I'm kind of like sitting there like, what the fuck? And I walk over to one person I know. I'm like, what's wrong? They're like, no, you're fine. And I'm just, I mean, it was just humiliating. Like, imagine you're up there putting yourself out there and somebody says no. So I just was like, I was humiliated. I got off the stage and I was like, what the fuck? I hung out a little bit. And then I'm empathetic and I feel bad. I'm like, so I went up to the guy later when there was a break and he came back and I was like, hey, look, man, I just want you to know, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't know. I don't know what happened. He's like, you can't say that word. You can't. And I'm like, wait, that wasn't the whole joke. He's like, what are you? And he asked me what my nationality was. And I told him, no, that's not my nationality, but I am, and I used the N-word. I said that just because I wanted to cut right through his ears. And so this dialogue is happening amongst other comedians, I'm sure. And I don't really have friends in the comedian circles, even though I go there every week and I sit there and smoke by myself. I don't know how to fucking talk to people when I go there. Someone can help me. I need alcohol. Apparently alcohol is my crutch. I'm useless. I'm fucking useless. So I go there. Everyone's there. What am I going to talk about? Hey, dude, what jokes here? I don't fucking know. I'm just there to do my thing. So I'm mulling around every week there, going out and hanging out. So this big kerfluffle happens, and I don't know anybody. No one takes my side. And then I realized I was by myself, and it was a room. It was the back room, and oh shit! Oops, sorry. I hit the transition. Oh, my shit didn't even change down below. Sorry about that. You guys on Instagram. Let me just switch that. That should have switched. All right. Sorry about that, Instagram. That's on my other account, so it's just my experimental. I'm trying to stream multiple ways. So we're back in the back of the room afterwards. We have a couple words. We're in the room with the other comedians. And I realize I don't have any defense and it's just me. And I'm thinking, I just heard that we could say whatever and you would do whatever and maybe no one would laugh, but you get to do your set and you go off. So at this point, I'm kind of getting perturbed because I came at him humbly to say, why the fuck is my screen black? See what happens when I try shit. I came to apologize and then he kind of went at me and that's the wrong thing to do. I'm willing to fall on the sword. But if you come at me after I fall on the sword, I'm not going to fucking take it lightly at all. So, of course, he did. I'm trying to come, and he starts talking shit and saying, oh, it wasn't funny, yada, yada. Why isn't that screen showing up on down? All right. Anyway, I'll get the And so, we exchanged some words. He says, you don't like the word that I use. I said, well, I'm not that word. I'm another word. I used the N-word. I did it on purpose. And then he said something that is unforgivable to me. Unforgivable. He said, well, it wasn't even funny. And I was, oh, motherfucker. Who the fuck are you to gatekeep fucking comedy? We're fucking back in Millersville, some fucking 5-minute set, bro. Who the fuck are you? You didn't even hear the joke. What the fuck? And I was livid. I was like, funny. Oh, I don't even know what I said. I went red. It's like, who the fuck are you? And I'm sure people there were like, didn't know what the fuck was going to happen next because I was lit up. Maybe they thought I was a pussy, but I was pretty fucking fired up and ready to just be primal. Because, I mean, that to me is like, you're fucking with my art now. It's not your job to say funny. I love Andy Kaufman. He wasn't funny to people. I think he's fucking hilarious. I love the awkwardness that he did that made people not laugh, or they'd go to his shows and they would just be like, what the fuck is this? Oh, I would have loved it. You walk out. Do I laugh? What the fuck just happened? It was fantastic. Nowadays, he's held in high esteem because back then it was like, what the fuck? He's loony. He's crazy. He's uncontrolled. No one gets to tell fucking daddy what the fuck is funny. No one. No fucking one. I think I'm fucking hilarious. And if you don't, that's fine. Maybe I have an audience of one, motherfucker. So this thing is personal for me when people say the left is killing comedy. It's not the left. It's individuals like that fuck who don't understand that it's an art form. We're at the fucking place you're supposed to practice your art form. Open mic. Motherfucker, do not put gates up. This is where the newbies come in. And then to tell me I'm not funny, you guys might agree. Fuck off. But I'm funny as I actually have an award for being funniest in high school. I got it. It's in my fucking yearbook. If you don't, do you have an award for being funny? I doubt it. Not many people do. Oh, I'm class clown. Did they codify it? No. Then you don't have any standing. So when it comes to comedians, they're up here. I'm like up here somewhere because class clown in the yearbook, most humorous. I could have picked most school spirited. I had won both of them. I think my brother took the other one. Sorry, Derek. It's true. You won a bunch too. We were the only two black people in the class besides the other guy. Maybe there was 4. So we had to win something. No shit. I did win most humorous. So I hold it. Like I do brag about it. I want it to be said at my funeral. Oh, I got a degree in computer science from Drexel. I don't care. Fucking most humorous, legendary. So this fuck tells me I'm not funny. I know I have the credentials to be funny. I lose my shit. Why is that story relevant? Because this is getting canceled. I got canceled. I said I can't get canceled, but I was on stage. I was in the limelight. I was on a pedestal, and he cut me down because he didn't like the words and he thought it wasn't funny. Motherfucker, who the fuck are you? Perfect example of somebody who would not have made it in the comedy had I been like this fuck that told me to get off stage. That guy without the shirt would have never made it. I've not watched him yet. People say he's funny. I don't care. He's offensive to me. Does that mean that he should be taken off? Am I going to write letters? And no, but I think it's stupid. Like I would have been like, dude, no, you're not getting up on stage. I would have been like that fucking cuck that told me to get off the stage. And you're a cuck, bro. I know. I fucking blocked you on every social media. Like I permanently banned you from my life. Honestly, and you guys are thinking I'm going crazy. It was humiliating, and especially being vulnerable like that in front of everybody and have somebody do that, horrible. The next point I want to make is a little bit of a lesson for you, motherfucker, who did that to me. And this is also relevant to the story that we're talking about, which is the left's killing comedy. We'll get into the left part, but let's just talk about what the baseline for comedy is. There's a famous joke that true comedians know and they articulate their own version of called the Aristocrats. It's an old joke done in the vaudeville days, you know, back when comedy was probably fucking vicious on the Chitlin circuit and all that shit, whatever the vaudeville fucking, when people just said everything and no one cared and only the non-Christians were out there. So it was just free for all. It wasn't mixed now wherever, you know what I mean? Religion was much more ingrained. So the people that were wilding out were usually people just were done with it. There wasn't this mix of whatever the fuck we have now. And I know that doesn't make sense, but I believe that back in the day, you had the people that were churchgoers and you had the people that weren't, and the people that weren't found their community in other places, and community was found in church. So if you didn't go to church, you found community in other places, and those places probably had no holds bar because you had no moral compass or people to worry about, church and yup. So you could live freely. Probably a magnificent time. I'm serious about that. Besides the fact that there was racial bullshit and everything else. But the Aristocrats joke is a joke that's old. You look it up, you try to learn about it. There's a movie about it. The joke is debauchery, incest, poop, shit, cum, everything. It's old. It's a joke. And I say it's the baseline for anybody that wants to get offended by fucking comedy. Go fucking learn the Aristocrats. In my mind, it should be like anyone that wants to come in like, oh, that's offensive. Do you think Aristocrats is offensive? Yeah, it is in some ways because my mom and, you know, my dad molested my sister. Okay, I get it. But that joke still exists. And I know there's a lot of people that been molested by their dad or their uncle or whatever. And family incest isn't necessarily a laughing matter, right? When it comes to fucking Billy, who has 3 arms, I understand. Down in Tennessee, you guys won't even follow me because I'm making jokes about fucking incest. I understand. Got it. But the Aristocrats is an old joke, and I use it as an educating moment for any fucking comedian that wants to fucking gatekeep against anybody. Especially that fuck that shut me down the stage. The joke is so bad and so awful, and the retelling of it, everyone retells it and they make it worse and grosser and more disgusting, and that's the point of it. And it's not necessarily funny at the end of the joke. It's just, what the fuck? The punchline, I'm not going to ruin it. It's kind of like, oh shit, what the fuck did you just tell me? And why is that even supposed to be funny? Well, it is funny because holy shit, you just fucking told me a wild tale. And wow, okay, it is funny. That's how humor works often. When you think of your comedians, you think of the ones that were really good, you think of their one-line jokes. I mean, I can't tell you one thing Kevin Hart said that was funny. I'm not saying he's not funny. I just don't remember anything that he said that stuck out. Why is that important? The Aristocrats is a joke that if somebody tells it, you're going to remember it. And if you tell a joke that's going to push the boundaries of things, people are going to remember it. So Kevin Hart is I would argue, is a rather safe comedian. He says some things every now and then to get some press. By the way, if I'm fucking Kevin Hart, if you're watching someday, multiple mad respect. I know there's no chance you're watching, but in case, some way, some magical way, dude, hardest worker in Hollywood, you right there. No ifs and buts about it. Comedy is a whole subjective thing, which is what we're getting into today. So just in case, because I do ping you all the time saying, hey, dude, fucking come get me and fucking put me in the stage somewhere. Jokes. But true story. He's a mainstream comic. That's why he's doing so well. I argue that anyone that wants to gatekeep somebody else or wants to say that somebody else isn't funny needs to understand the history of comedy, needs to understand even the political ramifications of comedy. Oftentimes, comedy was used to say things that weren't okay to say in a normal fashion. So you could say it in a comedic fashion, poking fun at it. Satire could be considered comedy. The biggest thing about this whole the left is killing comedy is it's subjective. Okay. So it's subjective. Still didn't get my main core point. Was it the left? Is it the left? But I'm coming to my point, which is, and I'm coming to my point. Sorry, I can't help it. I'm coming to my point, which is humor is subjective. And when you hear people use the word cancel, you got to look at their income and what their level of exposure is, because people that are publicly exposed. And the other thing is, I don't know of anyone that got canceled that lost money. I don't know anyone that got canceled for reasons and that their talent was so good, but they were just, you know what, you got canceled, so you're done. Maybe you can name some people. I'm serious that they lost their income and now they're working at Sheetz or something. I mean, what is it? What happens when someone's, Kathy Griffin, oh, she couldn't get a job. She's fine. She's fucking Kathy Griffin. People know her. She's making money on a social Instagram post, for Christ's sake. Once you get to a certain level, folks, believe it or not, I'm at the level. I can make a post and get paid for it. Wow. Didn't you know that? Well, now imagine you're just a poor old fuck comedian, just got canceled, and you got 1 million followers. Oh my. I guess I'll fucking do some work today and make a post to make 10 grand. Just don't fucking buy the cancel bullshit. It's totally bullshit. Now, just to wrap a bow on that, cancel, you only get canceled if you're rich or fully famous. And then you don't have problems. Stop saying they have problems when they're fucking in the press, getting all the fucking press they need. They're not. Rudy Giuliani only has problems because he's a fucking moron, but him walking around with stuff, press is good press. I was making the point earlier. I've thought about just saying some awful, trifling things. I've actually had suggestions from people that I should feign as a conservative to raise my prestige by just doing the Stephen Colbert thing. I can't. So doing something outrageous to elevate myself. Of course, at some point, I'm going to succumb to it. I know it. I'm going to have to. I can't just live off of 5,000 people following me. I need 10,000. You know that. But the Aristocrats joke, let's get back to it. It's an awful joke. It's a baseline. It's a joke that I feel is, if you can listen to the Aristocrats and that was considered humor at one time, everything is on the table. You just might not be cut out for it. I can argue that in any time, anywhere, the word retard, if said correctly, is going to make me laugh. I'm just going to say it. I love that word. Okay? Now, it might just be me, but it's my fucking word. And if I hear it, I'm going to chuckle. If someone's talking, and if someone says it in a professional manner, I'm going to lose it. Like if they say, "Hey, I have 15 retards I work," I'm fucking done. I don't even know if that's something you say. Who's allowed to say the word? We need to find out. We'll do a whole thing on retard just to fucking piss off my special ed folks. I know. I could be saying the N-word. I'm using retard. You're probably okay with it. But it's subjective. Cancel culture doesn't exist. And the other thing I would argue is that people care too much. If you're going to put yourself out there, you have to stop caring what people think. I learned this the hard way the first time I did the Smash and Party shit. Mental mind fuck. You post, you get no views, you get some views. By the way, I don't even get views now, and it was never the views, but it's like, it's the, wow, I said that. I can't believe that I have to live with that, and people know I said that. What an embarrassing thing that I shared with somebody. So you're vulnerable when you're putting yourself out there. It's hard. I do have sympathy. But when you get to a certain level and you've achieved kind of this stardom or a monetary position where you can't really fall back to homelessness no matter what you do, unless you have mental disorder. And again, your Maslow's hierarchy needs and generations are taken care of. I'd argue you can't be canceled. Now, I used an anecdote about myself. I believe that guy individually can't. I don't know what his politics were. I know that he was, the things I was the word I used is a word that would offend people. I know that. I fucking want to offend you. I want to fucking say words that just, like, I want to use all the words that just rip your brain up and then have you go, like, walk out battered and beaten up with fucking laughs. That's what I want to do. I love it. I love it. If you're ever with me individually one-on-one, I will play just to get laughs. I will fucking warp reality. I love it. I love it. So I'm all a fan. But you can't care about what people say because what you're doing is got to be your art. And we... My elbow. Ah, you fucker. Hold on. Sorry, I hate that transition page. One of the things we know about artists is that they're starving artists is like a thing. It's a cliche. If you're doing art and you're doing comedy, you have to expect some people aren't going to like it. You have to find your crew. One of the things that keeps me going, knowing that I'm canceled before I'm canceled, joke for those that didn't get it, is that I don't care anymore about what people think about this show. And it was relieving to think to kind of get to that point. And it means that what I'm doing is for me or my legacy, and maybe someone will watch every single minute. Maybe they'll eventually have a Taylor Swift / Nate Bomberger class. Who knows? I don't know what's going to happen after I die. Someone could discover it. There's a manifesto in there. Maybe someone takes it and runs with it. Maybe society's changed. Who fucking knows? But the truth is, I'm not going to know what happens after I die. It doesn't fucking matter. I do know what happens here, and I love doing this. I love it. I love the individuals that reach out to me and say they love it. I like the individuals that reach out to me and say, you're a fucking idiot. You're wrong. I love it. And so the journey that I get out of this is for my own satisfaction, truly. Of course, I want to get to 10,000 people. I want to get sponsored. I want to be able to do this full time and not have to do my day job. Of course. But the truth is, this won't get good until I stop giving a fuck. This will not be authentic me until I stop giving a fuck. So I would argue that anyone's getting canceled. Are you being authentic? Are you talking about something maybe you shouldn't? Because if it's authentic, it's going to be funny. I can make some really fucking jokes about retards, black people, and I'm going to say one other thing. Just because I fucking do. I know I put myself out there. This is my art, folks. So you may not like it, but I'm not going to get canceled. I'm never going to get canceled. I don't see myself getting canceled because if I get canceled, that means somehow I've achieved some kind of stardom where I'm like, oh, wow, no one's paying attention to me again. Like, this is how it's been. I'm okay with it. So if someone's going to pay attention to me, ojalá. You know what I mean? Jokes aside, cancel is for rich people. Wokeness is the word that retards use to describe sensitive people. That's the only definition. So when you hear the word woke, it's being used by a retard. And I mean that. So there's no linkage between wokeness and any definition of reality. It's a word retards use to describe people that care about stuff. It's not interlinked with the whole comedy problem. Hear me out. My ability to get offended by words that people use in derogatory situations should stop right when I go to see a comedian. What the fuck are you expecting at a comedy show? They're going to do things it's not going to all be warm and fuzzy for you. It's going to be some discomfort. By the way, every single joke you laughed at is uncomfortable for somebody else. So get over your fucking self. That's how I look at it. You want to hear my conclusion? Nobody's killing comedy. No one's killing comedy. It's not the left. It's not the right. It's not cancel culture. There's plenty of comics that are saying offensive things that are doing great. Here's the real thing that's happening. You have people that complain or don't like something. Their voice gets elevated the loudest. That's what's happening. And so you say a joke that bangs, and of course, the people that are complaining about it get elevated. That's good writing. That's clicks. That's what's happening. We love your joke, Ricky Gervais. Dave Chappelle didn't get slammed. This fucking Netflix became the #1 special at the time. Come the fuck on. There's no canceling. There's no fucking bullshit. Your use of the word woke is fucking because you're retarded. That's it. But it's all bullshit. So no one, and by the way, left, right, who the fuck is the left? Now we can argue that sensitive people fucking kill comedy all the time, period. That statement will be true no matter what time. The article that I read that kind of led to this discussion talks about, well, the shift of sands in time. No, good comedy fucking is funny. It will be funny. You have to understand the context. But I'm going to argue there's no canceling people. There's nothing. No one is getting canceled unless they're successful. People have to stop fucking going to comedy shows and thinking that they're going to fucking get warm and fuzzies. It's bullshit. So there is some, I would argue that the folks that are complaining about when they say the left, they're arguing about people that are making loud stink about certain issues. And I'm not saying stink as a bad way, but they're trying to ruffle some feathers about an issue. And so they're uber sensitive. Activists are loony bin. There have to be, or not loony bin as in bad, but they have to be crazy to be able to do the things they're doing. They're fucking going against the grain of what the system's saying to do. Activism is, you're going to put yourself out there and you're going to be thinking about the issues in ways other people don't. So I would argue that if you're an activist for a certain cause, why would you fucking get offended? There's going to be, you're already running against the grain. Do you want the whole world to align with your cause? Sure. Well, then understand that this art form that you're criticizing has nothing to do with your fucking person. It's literally the art form where we do that stuff. So there's a couple things going on, and I'll put a bow on it. Dennis, I'm sorry if this didn't deliver. Perhaps it did. I'm going to put some more shiny little nuggets in there for you, but let's conclude some of the points. I would argue that cancel culture is bullshit. It doesn't exist. Comedians are thriving. They're being successful. There's folks that are going to complain about it. They're usually going to have the loudest voices. They may or may not be right. I'm not going to say that, but when I walk into a comedian, like I said about the guy that doesn't have a shirt, there's nothing that guy could say to be funny. I don't understand why that guy has more money than me. I watched one episode of him. I couldn't get over the fact that he's just up there looking like a buffoon. And I know it's so presumptuous and vain of me to think that somebody can't be funny without a shirt, but it's just trash. Trash white privilege. That's what I'm going to call it. Yeah, I say no black guy could get up there without their shirt off, without women fucking. First of all, most likely a black man that wouldn't be ripped would be like, oh my God, what an overweight black man. So we'd have to be cut. That's what we have to have a nice body. I know it's weird. That guy's a fat piece of shit and he's fucking making millions. Am I angry? No, I'm not angry at him. I don't care. I actually think I would like the guy. He's funny. It's just weird watching a guy with shirt. Is there some inner dialogue, homosexual urges that come out when I see a man without a shirt? I don't know. I don't think so. They've not been acted on at this time. but I just don't like that guy. Okay, I don't like him without a shirt. So if I were the gatekeeper like that cuck that did to me, that guy would never have made it. So it wouldn't be the left or the right. It would have been Nate Bomberger gatekeeping comedy. So when you start thinking about that, that's what's happening most of the time behind the scenes. There are gatekeeping of comedy, but the people that are yelling and screaming and complaining about the comedy specials, they're just getting a lot of fucking volume. That's it. The comedy specials are doing great. And it just gives people something to talk about. It's total fucking like agitprop, agitation propaganda. That's it. It makes people pick a side for some fucking thing that's dumb. Retard is a fucking magical word. I can't say it in public. But if you come to my show right here, my show, my art, I can say retard and you can fucking try to cancel me. But guess what? I don't have enough money or fucking exposure to be canceled. So cancel away. Call me woke too. Oh God. Every time I hear someone say, "Oh, you're woke," I don't even think about it. I just automatically think retard. Like their name could be Samson Jones, and they say something like that, and I'm like, Samson retard Jones. Like it's automatic. Like that's their, and I'll put an R. Like every time I write their name, Samson R. Jones, because they're retarded. That's what they are. Let me just look at my notes to see if I got everything. I wanted to talk cancel culture. Doesn't exist. All right, let me just touch on the left-right thing. The whole left-right, so the argument's the left's killing comedy. The fuck does that mean? It's sensitive people that exist in the spectrum. He's in the article's like, well, I remember it was Republicans that were so sensitive, and now it's liberals. It's people on the edge that are always sensitive. It doesn't matter. There's people on the whole thing that are sensitive. It's not just the left. It's not. And I hate that they're reinforcing this notion that somehow comedy has a liberal bias or I just think that it's short-sighted to say it's the left. It's people that don't enjoy your comedy. If I'm on the left and I'm a crazy person working for retards, and I go to a comedian, he makes jokes about retards, and I laugh, I'm still going to work on Monday. I mean, it's that fucking simple. It doesn't mean I hate retards. Obviously, I care about them. I'm working with them. I mean, I let them dig and stuff. I do all that shit. Put them on the time to the fence, let them run around and dig. Whatever the fuck you do with retards, that's what they do. That's what I work with, right? But then I go on Monday night, and I go see Nate Bomberger, who just makes nothing but retard jokes. Ooh, my, what a fucking dirt. What a dirt. Well, is this my little dirty secret? Ooh, me. The dichotomy. I'm so complex. I mean, what the fuck? Who fucking cares? You're going to a comedy show. They're going to say some stuff that's going to be funny. Some of it's going to suck. So I'm going to argue against anyone. Nothing is wrong with Blazing Saddles, but it wouldn't have gotten through. That is not because of the left. It's because of tightwad fucking butthole executives not want to take a chance because of the pressure that they have for their jobs because of poor taste and poor understanding of comedy. Comedy has there's no depth that it can't go, my opinion. Yes, AIDS, herpes, black people, Chinese, Jewish people, Palestinians, death, babies, cancer, all of it. Every fucking thing someone could find funny about anything there. And if you're going through cancer, it might not be funny. I've got 2 cancer bracelets on my fucking wrist. I love my cancer joke that I tell. Only to certain crowds. Trust me. It's a banger. Only certain crowds. So I just don't think the left-right thing carries any weight either. It's people that are sensitive. It's not the left. It's if those people, by the way, those people on the left, as you say, they're just crazy activists. And I don't even know if the left considers them part of the left. Like, let me just get to this core issue. Every trans person I know, I respectfully ask them their pronouns, and they always, every single time, everyone I've met, and I've actually met probably more than you, true story, worked with one, have one in my family, all kinds of shit. not my family, but in my personal family. They don't get offended when I ask them how would you like me to address you? What are your pronouns? And if I've noticed and I'm not sure, there's a restaurant locally where I wasn't sure if the person was what their gender was, and I wanted to address them correctly. So I just asked, and they were very happy that I asked. It was easy. And like, it's so easy to just do that for somebody. And I've actually had a lot of trans people say, I don't really care. I don't give a fuck. I know for those people that do, but I'm telling you, a lot of folks I know just say straight up, like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. That's and I actually can relate to that a little bit. Because when people are like, oh, you call them black or Negroes or African American, like, I didn't care about the fucking name. Everyone else cared about, oh, you said, but I don't care. I just wanted the racial shit to stop. Like, you can even use the N-word if you just make everything equal. I promise. I'll even give you that. I'd be like, all right, we're doing some horse trading here. Let's see. I want to be able to drink out of the fountains. I want to be able to ride the front and the back of the bus, just in case we got something going on. And if I can do that, I also want to be able to buy a house. I want to be able to have a job, just like the white man over there. I want to be able to everything equal. And then I'll tell you what, you guys can say the N-word. You can use the word nigger. I'll let you say it. This one might be cut because of that. I shouldn't have said that. I'll have to edit that. They might not allow this. Oh my. Canceled by Facebook. But I'm going to argue that the right-left paradigm, I don't agree with that either. I think it's sensitive people that aren't in your comedic lane. They don't like you. And guess what? You now have a lot of exposure, so you get to see a lot more people that don't like you. We have this thing called the internet. Those people that are miserable in their basement have nothing to do. They can literally make a lot of loud noise. It doesn't change the amount of tickets you sold. It doesn't change the fact that your legendary status has been cemented. Every single fucking comedian that mentioned this fucking shit's already legendary. Their status is cemented. It's permanent. I can't imagine Jerry Seinfeld's out pitching wacky, racy shows that the network's too, that's too much to pitch. I mean, what the fuck is he talking about? That's my point. These people are reading and consuming the same media drivel that you and I are. They're getting caught up in the same fucking scope bullshit that you and I are. And they're not thinking. They're saying shit that doesn't make any sense. Stephen Merchant, you blessed God. You're richer than fucking Christ himself. What the fuck are you talking about? Canceled. If you want to put on a fucking sitcom, you can do it. You can fund it yourself. All this shit is lies. And I don't think these people are out there fighting for the little man. I don't think that. Like I said, we can't get canceled. We can get gatekept by dumbasses like the fucking cuck that did that to me. But I'm not going to blame left or right for that. That's a fucking idiot who doesn't understand history of comedy. I hope you're watching, you fucking clown. I haven't gone back since that. And that's probably my own weakness, but I was so angry and it just lights me up. So when this topic came up, I wanted to talk about it because I wanted to share my story. And I do feel and understand what people mean when they say comedy's being killed by certain groups. I'm not going to go so far as it's dead. It's fucking thriving. It's doing great. There is, and if you want that racy comedy, you can find it. And people are buying it and doing it. Howard Stern, he's so racy. Look at the motherfucker. He's laughing all the way to the bank. So this notion that your comedy is controversial, trust me, it's going to sell like fucking hotcakes. So it's all shit. My conclusion is the left killing comedy? Fuck no. No. And that article was total fucking pedestal bullshit. Oh my God. Yes, I'm sitting here looking, the things are shit. That motherfucker hasn't missed a hit, by the way. He's nailing it. Stephen Merchant just cranking it out. So, people would think that, Nate's going to take the argument that, you know what, the left is killing comedy, or maybe he thinks it's the right. I think it's neither. I think it's dumbass people. I think people are going to comedy shows that shouldn't be going to comedy shows. And I think the comedians need to fucking ball up. Now, the only reason I'm not telling my joke is because it's legendary and it's going to be legendary status. And the joke's so good that no one can handle it. Obviously couldn't handle the first part of it. But I'm only doing that with that joke. Every other joke, I'm going to say what the fuck I want. If you watch this show, I don't give a fuck. I've cried. I've laughed. I've talked about my dick. I've talked about my ass. I've talked about pussy. Talked about everything. I don't care. People hire me still, believe it or not, because I'm fucking good at what I do. The people that don't hire me, I fucking move on. So I've kind of made this for myself that I understand there's going to be limitations for who's going to view me, who's going to watch. A lot of people tell me they will never let their kids watch this, or you know what? It's too late. It's too early. I don't give a fuck about any of that. I know that my audience is out there somewhere. And if it's not in my lifetime, somebody will find me and I'll be fucking hilarious. And maybe there'll be a whole planet that will move to a planet where they can just study the workings of Nate Bomberger. Who knows? I have high hopes. I think big. I'm trying to manifest some shit like every other motherfucker out there. But I'm doing it and I'm doing my art. And it doesn't matter if somebody likes it or not. And it doesn't matter if somebody doesn't like it, it doesn't make it any less good of art, especially if it's a personal expression. Eddie Murphy Raw is pure fucking gold. Fuck off. It's timeless. I know he says some words that are harmful. Bill Cosby shit's timeless. I know he rapes some women. We'll talk about that one and fucking another one. I'm not saying raping women's good and I don't advocate for it. But the motherfucker was a storyteller. His use of sounds. I can't even do it except a sniffle. How am I looking on time, folks? Did I go? Oh, I got to close. I can't go an hour because TikTok won't take my videos. I'm still reliant. Someday I'll be able to go to 3 hours. Once I get to 10,000 people, I'll just fucking ignore it all these little constraints. But let me put a bow on today and then give you my little happiness speech that I do. By the way, if this is your first time, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, I don't know what you thought of today's episode. Trying to hit all points. I really feel strongly about comedy. I love it. I know that there's certain comedy that I don't like. It doesn't make it not funny. It just means that's not my style. I know there's certain comedy that I love, and I know people that are close to me don't think it's funny, think I'm a jerk, think I'm offensive. I get it. I think it's hilarious, and maybe and I don't think it's hilarious for the wrong reasons. I'm not thinking it's hilarious because I'm picking down on people. I actually have a lot of respect for retards, not the real ones, not the fake ones, not the ones that are retarded. All right, I'm not going to go there. I could do a whole bit, but I know this isn't the time. But it's my art show. It's my art show. Couple things going on. The left's not killing comedy. The right's not killing comedy. It's individuals killing comedy. Find what you like and do it. Who gives a fuck? If nobody likes it, it doesn't mean that it's bad. Everyone could hate something and you could like it and it could be the best thing in the world. It's probably like your kid. Nobody likes your kid, but you love him. Think about it like that. Okay? I don't want to see pictures of your kid. I don't want to fucking hear about him. I don't even give a fuck about how they did at soccer. I really don't. I don't care that you sat in the rain fucking all day watching field hockey. I don't care. Nothing to do. Your kid means nothing to me. Just like jokes that you don't care about should mean to you. But if it's your joke and you really like it, it's your baby, it's your kid, then love it. But you don't have to go out and murder everyone else's kids, even though you don't give a fuck about them. This is probably the best analogy for you fuckers out there going to comedy shows and then writing reviews about how offensive they are. Don't go to comedy shows. Stay the fuck home. Your bit is activism. Go fight for the he, she, her, they. That's fantastic. And I'm not joking about it. I'm an advocate. But comedy, including you watching that thought I was on your side, no, I don't care. I'm going to walk into a comedian and I'm ready to be offended. I'm ready for them to use the N-word. I'm ready to say things that might personally offend me. I'm okay with it. I know what I'm getting into. Stop going to comedy shows if you can't take it. Now, if you can take it or you want to change your approach, it's a fantastic place to learn about things. You can say things other people can't. At least that's the hope. So this may or may not go over well. I don't know if you agree with my conclusion. My conclusion is they're all fucking crazy. They're all self-entitled bullshit artists that have made it, and now they're making these weird-ass words up for things that they're seeing that are part of the group think and the narrative that the media has been trying to paint, which is that, sensitivities and caring about demographics that are marginalized is not a strong position for somebody. Or if it's easy to make fun of somebody else down there or that doesn't have, then we can easily do that. And that's not what I believe. I don't believe we should marginalize those demographics. I do believe that in a comedy show, when you walk into that art room, that all demographics are on the table, including age jokes. I know comedians, there was I say the age joke because during the epidemic, wasn't, you couldn't get a laugh by making an age joke because it was so sensitive. But I would argue those real ball buster comedians out there did, and they found ways to make it funny. And I'm sure that you could find a way to make anything funny to someone at some time. And that's what comedy is. And no one can take that away. And the spirit of the times and how things change and the shift in the sand and all that other bullshit, it's not going to take away from that piece of expression. And even though it may lose its funniness in time, it's never going anywhere. It's permanent. It's part of our conversation. It was funny at some point to somebody, and I guarantee you it will be funny again to someone else. Perhaps only to the historian who's going through and saying, wow, how was he able to get all these laughs by using this word? And then they do their research and and months later, they finally get to the crux of it, and they realize, and their laughter emanates from their mouth. And finally, they get the joke. I don't care. The joke stands. It made that person laugh 100 years ago when everyone would have been offended. Last thing I'll say before I get cut off, because my timer will shut me down. Guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I do feel the love every single day. There's more people following. There's more people liking. I need more engagement, but that's okay. I love it. I'm enjoying this. If you know me or you want to know me and you want to know anything about me, this is my dream to make this a full-time gig. If I can do that, I will have reached nirvana in my world, because it will mean that I have enough people listening to me do my favorite thing that I can actually not have to do my second favorite thing, which is my day job, which is fun, but it's not as fun as this. So please continue. I'm going to be spicing up my videos. I know I didn't display the round corners today, even though they are golden and looking beautiful. I did a lot of kind of automation with my stuff so I can make it so that I can make this thing really zing. Meaning I want you to be able to watch it and be entertained, not just fall asleep to the droning of my voice. So not only are you going to hear new sounds and new things and new stuff, but you're also going to see me experiment with new sounds and new things and new stuff. So I ask you, stay with me as I go through this. I ask that you also continue to support me. One big ask is, please, fucking for the love of God, follow me on YouTube. Just get me to 50. That's it. You know what? I want to, by the end of the year, I talked to somebody at a bar. Again, I wasn't drinking. I was eating lunch. Nothing wrong with drinking, by the way. I'm still a fan. Just took a break. So all you people out there like thinking I'm riding the sober train, just calm down. Just mental health break. So I'm at the bar, local coffin bar, and I'm talking to this guy. And, I'm being kind of a little bit more cavalier and charming than normal for whatever reason. I end up talking him into following me. So he was my 49th follower. And I don't know if he's watching tonight, but I appreciate it. I love it. I know you personally followed me right there on the spot because you said you'd give me a chance. That's what it takes sometimes. So if I got to do that fucking conversation 9,950 more times, 51 times, I'm happy to do it. But you guys could just follow me. It'd be easy. You can follow me and mute me. I know you have YouTube TV, and then it comes up when you watch it. I need that YouTube to grow. If that thing gets to 10,000 folks, I will I'll take any request to do whatever. It doesn't mean I'm a millionaire. I'm not going to be driving Bugattis, but I will be very, very happy to live off of my 50, 60 grand a year. I don't need a lot, folks. I promise you, when I say what I need to live, it's kind of basic. So let's get there. Let's get my dreams and let me help you get your dreams. And maybe we can change the world. Who knows? Or we can piss off people, or we can make them laugh. Either way, make sure you come back tomorrow, Monday through Thursday, 10:30 p.m. Haven't missed a beat. We do it every day. Think of me as the poor man's Jay Leno. We're doing it Monday through Thursday. We're not going to miss a beat. I'm doing this until my death. That I promise. Thanks for checking in. I will see you guys tomorrow. It's the last of the week, and I'll try to do a banger for you. Don't forget to let me know what you thought of today's episode, or if I had any points that you agree with or disagree with.